Are you going to play that all day?
What? What? Are you saying something? I'm almost at level 37.
What's up, everybody? This is Jake.
I'm Paul.
Welcome to the official Plugged In Vodcast. Today we're talking about casual video games. Dun dun dun.
That's right. We're doing it because Angry Birds is coming out or has been out. We're not exactly sure.
Way to let him in on our secret, Paul.
We're not exactly sure where it is at this moment.
Wherever you are, whenever you're watching this.
And perhaps you've seen it. Perhaps you haven't. Perhaps
this is
you
getting
loved
into
it.
Doctor Strange territory. Yeah. All right, let's reel it back in. Angry Birds the movie.
Angry Birds the movie. And so we thought it would be a good opportunity to sort of talk about Angry Birds and just sort of the concept of casual video gaming. Stuff that you do on your phone, on your iPad, you know, those types of things.
Yeah. Because, Angry Birds really revolutionized mobile gaming, at least in my life. Like, growing up, I had a Sega Genesis Nomad. Oh, yeah. It was color screen. It was a big old brick. You guys remember it? It was about like that by that.
No one remembers.
And it had this tiny little color screen. And I felt so superior to all the little kids with their Game Boys because I had a color screen. It's awesome.
I know you only played plugged-in approved games.
Of course. Because my parents...
we
talked about before.
Yeah,
I was
your parents wouldn't have let you. Yeah.
There was no way, nothing...
Your parents are so good.
For sure.
The Roberson parents, you did a fine job with
Thanks,
your
Mom
son.
and Dad. So anyways... but I kind of got away from casual gaming for a while. But then a little game called Angry Birds came out, and dozens of hours of my life slipped away.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing about casual gaming. Here's the great sort of the casual gaming thing is sort of a good news, bad news.
Oh, it's a
right?
blast.
And
they're generally a lot of really clean games.
Right, exactly. The casual gaming things that you find on your phone typically are going to be a little bit more family friendly than a lot of the things that you would find just for your PS4, Xbox One, or whatever. Yeah. They tend to be very light. They tend to be fun. They tend to be great time killers.
Yeah.
But
I don't have to wait at the DMV board anymore.
Therein lies the problem, in a sense, because it's my contention. Boredom is good for you.
Tell that to my kids. I tell them that every day. Every day.
No. But, I think that there's some validity to that.
Yes.
I think that one of the things about video games is that, especially these mobile video games, is you never have to be bored again. But in ages past, that's where we did most of our thinking. That's where
contemplative thought.
Right. That's where we did most of our imaginative thought. Yeah. As a kid, if I always had a game in front of me, I don't know whether I would have even gravitated toward writing, to be honest with you. I wouldn't have made up a lot of the games that I made up as a child. I wouldn't have even attempted to write my own novel when it was 7. It was great.
It's probably the best thing you've ever written.
And
I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Would you agree with that? I mean, not that it's the best thing I've ever written, but in terms of the boredom factor. I mean, is boredom good?
Yeah, this is one. This is a hard one for me because, as some of you probably know, I help do video game reviews here at Plugged In. I've written about them. I enjoy them. I think there's a lot of fun things there. But I have been convicted recently. I remember actually back in college, I wrote a piece called. I don't even remember what I don't remember what I called the piece, but it was basically a rant
very memorable
against the education system and how it was squashing my creativity. And I kind of assumed that I'd get out of college and I'd be freed up to write whatever I wanted again and be creative again. And lo and behold, I got out of college and I wasn't writing stuff like I used to. And one of the things that has become apparent to me and that I've realized I need to change is because it's so easy to fill up all of my free time with other things, I will play Madden on the PS4 or on my phone. Madden Mobile is an insanely good game for a mobile phone game, or I'll play Angry Birds, or I'll play all these other little time games or whatever it is. and all of a sudden it's bedtime and I haven't written anything, and I'm like, I can't blame college anymore.
Yeah, no, and that's the tricky thing. We never have to be bored again. We never have to think about what we want to do, because as soon as we think then you pull out your phone and you just start playing with it. And you know what else? I think sometimes it can even hurt our spiritual lives.
Yeah.
Because I think that those quiet times, those contemplative times when nothing else is going on, is sometimes the times when we can think about God, we can listen to what God has to say. I don't think that very many of us are very good about listening to what God wants to tell us these days. And I think part of it is just because we always have all this noise around us. So I think that the games is as fun as they can be, and as harmless in some ways as they can sometimes be if used appropriately.
Right.
Even these fairly innocuous games can have some issues with them.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thought.
Right. We got to find time to set it aside, whether it is on your phone, if that's your vice, or an iPad, or, it can be casual gaming on other systems. It can be watching TV shows. I mean, we don't want to vilify casual gaming as being the only, villain in the story.
Right.
But it's a good reminder that we got to, just because it's convenient, doesn't automatically make it best or good for us.
If you're a casual gamer, keep it casual.
But we want to hear from you. How do you, is this something you've noticed in your own life, and how do you combat it? For me, it's, as I'm working on this, it's finding like phone-free zones where I've got to put my phone, away. Where it's not, I can't just slip it out of my pocket when my brain goes quiet, or things like that. I have to be intentional about that. And I'm working on it. I want to know what you're doing about it.
Yeah. One thing that you could do is just read more plugged-in reviews. That's a good way to keep yourself occupied.
Distract yourself with more web.
Yeah. Anyway.
Hold on. I see a problem. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here on the official Plugged In Vodcast. I'm Jake.
I'm Paul.
We'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Bye.